So this session's going to be, or our session zero is going to be pretty short, seeing as we have already kind of discussed it already, and the game as a whole quite in depth. But I do have some questions for everyone that we can kind of run through, and then we'll jump into our session 0.5. Um, so, first thing that I want to kind of go over is like Lucian, his mother and father died, and he was abducted as a child. Ended up coming back several years later without having aged and all kind of scarred up. Quintus, this retired guard captain, takes you in and begins training you, and treats you as kind of his own son. Before you kind of wander off into the woods for questionable reasons. Um, and Quintus fearing the worst, follows you into the woods, only for when you return back from the woods, find him dead, having been savaged by some beast. Um, the town, that has never treated you well since you have, you can ever since you disappeared in the first place, you know, sees this as, you know, Quintus getting what they all warned him was going to happen to him. And the angry mob basically chases you out of town. Um, you have to flee town fearing for your own safety. Um, Whereas Mareid was kind of like this small, sickly kid that grew up in this lab, where her father worked, developing various different medicines um, and alchemical creations. A lot of it having to do with kind of plant based and that type of thing. But she was real sickly, kind of growing up, and you know, as she kind of grew up, her condition slowly worsened over time. And she had to have all these operations to try to, of her father trying to help her. But you started to kind of grow close to one of the experiments there, a fungus named Sprog begins to kind of communicate with you. And um so you start to kind of take care of Sprog, and he kind of gives you another person to talk to, someone kind of your own age that, you know, whereas everyone else that you had any kind of interaction with were, decades your elder. So you kind of got close
I
to
mean, they're
this
elves. They could be centuries.
to this Sprog, yeah. Um but then something kind of happens with you where you suddenly get worse, and um Sprague helps you to get better. How does Sprague help you to get better?
So the two of us have a limited understanding of how it exactly happens to work. We know that Sprague attacks the disease itself, attacks like the cells that are breaking down. Um, what had happened that night is that Sprague just Hail Mary asked, just just consume me as the medicine entirely. Um, they were under the impression that maybe they had more strength than they did, and they turned out to be kind of right. Um, Sprague was under the impression that they would have died in this process if they were actually consumed. Um, Mareid was honest under the impression that she would have died under this process, and then Sprague would have her body. But either way, she ate Sprague. It started replacing a lot of the cells and ended up taking over a lot of different parts of her body. It replaced
Hmm.
her leg almost entirely. Let me just turn correctly to remember which leg it happens to be. I want to say it's her right leg that's replaced entirely, but you could also see um like a gray sort of fungal growth that is starting to grow from her side where there is a surgery scar. You don't see it normally since she's wearing a large coat. But yeah, the skin there grays, and at least on.
So like on the side of your rib cage where your father did the surgery on you, or on the side of your leg.
So her leg looks strange, period. There are fungal
Okay.
growths there. I've compared it multiple times to saying that it looks like the leg of a cricket. In reality, it's the fact that you can see that the fungus has eaten all the way up to like the bone and has replaced a lot of the structure. So it looks strange and alien. That being said, they could cover it with pants a lot of the time, and that is what they do. Uh, and the more concerning part to Mairead and Sprague is the fact that there is this fungus that is starting to grow out her side, because that's where her lungs are, the part that she was more worried about losing.
Okay, so you said that Sprague attacks this disease, um, and he kind of keeps it at bay. So Maraid still has this disease. Sprague has kind of gone in and replaced the things that were so far damaged, so far gone that like he couldn't save, right? He's kind of gone in, replaced the things that were broken, um, and is kind of keeping the disease at bay, but it's still something that Maraid has that is ongoing, right?
Um, so she's not sure. They're under the impression that it's gone.
Like it's in remission.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very, very much so. I've treated this disease like like a cancer.
Okay, cool. I like that. All right. So you were kind of on your deathbed, lying there. Um, you know, your dad kind of, you know, working furiously in the background, trying to come up with something to save you, but things weren't looking very good. You it was the situation was pretty dire when Sprague offers up another solution, and you not seeing any other route, and him being your friend, he does what he can to kind of save you. Um, but you know, so then you're saved. Sprague heals you. So why do you flee the lab? Why not continue to live with your father?
He is under the impression that if we had combined, it would be Sprague that's in there. The thought process is that it's a myconid. It takes over a dead body, and then the conscience that is there is that of the other. To have Sprague there so completely, that fear that Sprague will take over will be there constantly. Mareid specifically is afraid that her father is going to kill Sprague to get them out.
Now, do do you believe that you'd be incapable of convincing your father that you were still alive, that it wasn't Sprague piloting Mareid, but really the two of that you'd be unable to convince him that the two of you were, cohabitating, so to speak?
I think it'd be possible to convince my father that I was alive. I don't think it would be possible to convince my father that Sprague had good intentions. After all, I am a sheltered, naive young girl
Okay.
who turned out to
So
be talking to a random stranger for years.
Sprague is your friend and Sprague saves you, but you know, then you're like, your father is going to kill Sprague, um, you know, at the very least, right? And, the changes that you have undergone, you may not live through it either if he were to try to to extract Sprague out of you, because he would not be willing to, he would try to save Mareid, because he would fear that Sprague, this outside entity, this myconid that takes over bodies, um, would, uh, if you were, even if you were still alive at this point, would take you over and eventually, consume your ego, so to speak. Um, so he would try to remove Sprague, because, well, Sprague's going to kill you anyways. He has to do something, and so you flee, right? Um, how do you flee the lab?
That is easier in the sense that there is a certain amount of time that Mairead had. She is left alone because people don't expect her to be able to go anywhere.
Hmm. You being the sickly kid that you are.
Yeah, no one expected her to suddenly have the ability to run. She never ran before. I
Okay.
think it was
Um,
more along the lines that at some point someone saw her running strange and alien like an animal would because that's all she knew at this moment. A researcher just happening to like be in the right place at the right time, just spotting some kid booking it, not even registering the fact that wait a second. Wasn't she supposed to be on a hospital bed?
yeah. Your dad is working furiously to try to save you, and, working through the night. Um, and so, you know, almost tired, to the point where he passes out through exhaustion, right? And you're supposed to be this little kid that is, you know, dying on a table somewhere, right?
Sure am.
But you aren't. And so while all the other researchers are working on their projects, and while your dad has literally worked himself until he passes out, you wander into his office. And as he sleeps there at his desk, you pick up his lab coat that has his badge on it that allows you to open and close the doors. So you take his lab coat. And using that, it's your hope that you can use his badge to get through the secure doors and out. Um, but a researcher sees you as you're kind of skittering through the hallways, right, on all fours. They see you, and fearing that some, you know, that like you have transformed through one of the experiments in the facility, they confront you, and you end up having to kill them to escape. Now, who was it that killed them? Was it Mareid? Was it Sprague? Was it a conscious decision or an accident?
I I think that day in general, they don't know who he was. They don't know who's running. They don't know who's attacking. It's just that a lot of these things are new. And they are truly panicking. Would you like a name for this researcher, by the way? Because Mareid has someone that takes care of her, aside from her dad.
Okay.
His name is Podrig.
Can you spell that?
Padraig.
Podrick died during. All right. So what I have here is that you kind of took your father's lab coat, that and that day that you escaped is a blur, but a researcher died in the process. Padraig died during your escape. You don't remember if it was Sprague or Mareid, whether it was an accident or on purpose. It was just all a blur. Okay. All right. Um, and your where was your father's lab located?
So my thought had been even further to the north, following a river of sorts. Um,
So so somewhere on this river here. Okay. Right here, you're
yeah,
saying? All right. Give me just a second. I'll mark that on the map.
yeah, just
Um,
clean mountain water and a little bit more open.
what was the name of the facility?
I think it's not necessarily one for a specific god, but it has a strong association.
what did you call it?
Hold on, I'm thinking. I want to say Saint Deanna of Miklas is the full name of the facility itself.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Located north.
I think you could
Dalhurst.
shorten it to SDN.
What's that?
I think you could shorten it to SDN. Oh, sorry, it's not Nicholas. Miklas. The Seraph.
All right. Here, post it in chat so I can, type it how you think how it should be spelled.
Let me grab the book.
It's Miklas.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nicholas. Okay.
You know what? Let's add an institute in there. That sounds like the mouthful that is a doctor's place.
All right. So what is it?
Saint Deanna of Miklas's Institute.
Of modern healing.
Of modern healing.
What else can we tack onto this?
You know, no, that's not what they would call it for short. They would for sure call it Saint Deanna's.
All right. Well, that's fine. I'm going to
Its name is about to go across the map.
For they are known far and wide.
okay. All right, let's see. Back to tokens. All right. So we have that on there. So we're gonna you Mareid and Lucian are kind of have met prior to session 0.5.
Sure have.
And so we're kind of referring to you as Team Blue. How did Team Blue meet up?
Well, you see, he had food and clothes. Relatively new food and clothes. Well, clean food and clothes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was particularly
Mhm.
hungry. We
Mhm.
we had been doing better. We were doing great compared to earlier. I'm no longer under threat of death, but um,
Hello, fellow vagabond.
he wasn't looking. All right, I grabbed what I could and I left, or I tried to, except for
Yeah, except you got caught.
yeah, I got caught. But you didn't kill me, so maybe it was a good decision anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So this scraggly child.
Feral.
How
She
how
was feral.
how old are you, by the way, Mareid?
I'm 16. I'm not that child, but I am child
All right.
enough, and I am
How old are you, Lucian?
17.
All right. So the so this so this young woman kind of comes crawling out of the out of the bushes, right? Like all feral and cricket legged and everything. Wearing this white lab coat, um, and kind of like and kind of like um, like hospital schmucks. It kind of comes out, and you kind of wake up to to this to this like feral kid burrowing through your backpack, pulling out food and just shoving it into her mouth like some kind of wild animal. And then when you wake up, she takes off, carrying
Shit.
your backpack off into the woods, right?
Shit, fuck.
So how do
I
you
don't fucking
deal
have
with
silver.
I tackled it to
Shit!
get my stuff back. And then once I actually realized that it was a
Go of
a
me.
girl, I felt bad. I felt really fucking bad.
Not just a girl with a cane.
Yeah, she's one of the cripples, man. Like 7 years bad luck. It's
Let
awful.
go. Just smacking you.
And so, after getting bonked on the head a few times, I was kind of like, you know, you don't have to steal it all. We could just like sit down by a fire and you sort yourself out, before you get eaten out there. And then you get eaten, and then monsters see my fire and they try to eat me then. Yeah.
Yeah, I know he's not killing us yet.
No, not yet.
See, I don't like the way he says yet.
I mean, if you keep hitting me in the head.
I'm not. I can stop.
It,
Fine. Is it alright for me to be sharing your
I
camp?
mean, it sort of looks like you need it worse than I do right now. And that's saying something.
I was doing.
No.
I was
Mm-mm.
doing just fine.
No. Just stop right there. Just right there. Not a good idea to finish that one.
Hush, stop. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, I hear you. This is fine, I guess. I don't know. What if he kills us in the middle of the night?
I wouldn't do that. Number one, because that's kind of shitty. Number two, who are you talking to?
Says the man with the knife.
I don't
Or
have a knife!
or a stick with a knife. It's
It's
sorry,
a
a
spear.
spear.
Yes.
I'm talking to no one. I'm talking
Mhm.
to myself. Yes, I'm talking to myself.
Clearly. She's a bit. Uh, are you gonna foam at the mouth or anything if we continue this?
No.
I don't think so. The last thing I ate didn't look like it had any foam on it.
That's a yikes.
And it seems to be keeping down okay this time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, why don't we just go sit by the fire and talk this out? How stealing from me in the middle of the night is really bad. How it's a good thing that I'm a nice person. How it's a good thing you're not dead and you're not foaming at the mouth.
He seems very fond of complimenting himself. I don't know.
Oh my god. I need strength. I can't do this.
See? Talking to yourself is normal.
Mareid 1,
It's true.
Lucian 0.
Mhm.
So, you know, so you guys kind of meet as,
It's a rocky
Lu-
start.
Lucian's kind of out in the wilderness and happens upon this, this wild young woman that seems to be rooting through his backpack like some kind of feral animal.
Mhm.
Um, so, you not wanting your only source of food to escape, you tackle her and proceed to have a very
Gross.
strange conversation with her.
Mhm.
um
Mhm. Mhm.
but ultimately you guys begin traveling together. How is it that you manage to go from catching a food thief to traveling together?
Can I use your spear?
No,
Hmm.
but you can have a dagger.
Hold on. Grabs a little bit of rope. Grabs my stick, which is very clearly a walking stick or a cane of some sort. Ties it. Spear.
Yeah, I mean, functionally.
So you kind of know what you're doing out here, right? I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
were camping on your own and you were alive and you had food that tasted pretty alright.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty all right.
And you don't know what you're doing.
I know some things, but
Right.
I could learn a thing or two.
Mm-hmm.
We could be help. I could be helpful.
All right. First things first, we gotta get you cleaned up. Can't go through town like that.
We're nearby a town.
We're not that far. Only a few days.
And I have to be clean to go into town.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah, I know you're happy.
You also sound a little different.
What do you mean?
You don't sound
Oh,
like you're
you're
from here.
referring to yesterday. I'm just. You really should have tried harder, you know. It's,
Complicated.
yeah.
All right.
I know if we want some sort of connection, it's good to start from a place of honesty. You don't have to go preaching. He's still a stranger we found in the woods.
Mutual.
Mm.
And I see your stick. Spear. I use air quotes.
What are you gonna do with it?
Fix it.
She really wants it back very quickly.
What? If you want to hold this one while I do it. So you don't fall over.
I'm not gonna fall over.
Uh-huh.
No, he won't fall over. I've got you. Yeah, I'll take the stick.
Okay. So yeah, I fixed their fucking makeshift spear.
So
We kind of go from there. Yeah.
So is this like a hooked cane that you're walking with, or is it like a walking stick?
It's more like a hooked cane. it's not that long.
Okay. So how are you adding how are you turning into a spear?
You
Right.
can't is the answer.
Yep.
You can maybe
We're just tying this dagger to a part that's maybe not going to get them stabbed as they fall down right away. Is really what we're doing. 100%. Lucy's like, yeah. You did good, kid. Yeah, uh-huh. All right, let's childproof this a little bit. It's really what happens.
The answer is no. It's not a spear. It'll never be a spear.
Yep.
All right. So you have like the cane, right? Here, let me draw. So you have like the cane, right? And then you took the 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 dagger and you put it on here like this so that like you could grab the end of it and use it like a
Yeah, whack it.
pick or something. It just
Yep.
ka-cha!
But
It's
spear.
very awkward and really you don't know if it'll survive more than maybe one or two hits because
That's all we need.
it's kind of held on there with some jute cord. But hey,
It makes him happy. There you go.
at least it's no longer pointed up, so like
They fall
towards
and
them.
exactly.
Yeah.
Less about acid.
Okay. All right. So so like you guys begin traveling together because you figure
I worry that they are a danger to themselves and society, and I, as a good citizen, should maybe try to minimize that. Is 100% how it starts. There's a lot of like, okay, this is what we're doing. All right.
Man is no fun. Yeah, you're no fun either.
okay. All right.
You have to let the toddler walk first.
All right. So I have a pretty good handle on blue team.
Yeah.
So now we have red team. Let me insert a page break here. All right. So we have Erebus, which is this, this owl man, which you're what, like 80 something years old. How old are you exactly, Erebus?
Ancient.
Damn it. Oh, I stopped counting a long time ago. He'd probably be up in his, like, 70s, close to 80s, somewhere around there. Maybe plus 80 plus.
So, oh shoot, I don't have any. Let's see here. 20,
Holy Nicholas, he
10,
is ancient.
8, 6, 4. Alright, so roll me a d10, would
Oh,
you?
here we go. A D10.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Ah.
you're 80. So you're 85 years old. 85 years old. Um, you grew up in Riven. Um, some 60 years ago, 60 odd years ago. It's hard to keep it's hard to keep count that far back, but you know, back when you were but a young whippersnapper, um, you were kind of getting, you know, you're getting restless in the small town of Riven. You and your friends were kind of getting a little full of themselves, and one, thinking about kind of striking out for adventure, leaving this town, heading out into the wilds, and making your fortune. Um, and as you were drinking and boasting and, generally making a nuisance of yourself in the local inn there, or local tavern, um, the Burgermeister, Otto Varick, overhears, that you guys are thinking about, trying to form some kind of adventuring party and offers you a quest. Now, he has lost his wife's ring to his or the wedding ring his wife gave him to a hag. Um, um, and he's like, if you could sneak in and steal back my ring, I'll give you 1,000 gold, and this will kind of give a great a great capital investment into your upstart, party. You guys are like, hell yeah, let's do it,
Mm-hmm.
and you guys head off into the bog, into the black mire to try to find this hag's hut and get back his wedding band.
This old lady's gonna be a pushover.
Yeah. Well, things don't exactly go according to plan. You do find the hag hut, this giant, massive mammoth's skull up on top of this hillock, that has been turned into a hut. And as you guys begin to sneak in to what appears to be an empty hut, does not turn out to be an empty hut. And, you know, you guys proceed to utterly get stomped by the three hags that turn out to be there. Um, Minerva, Hagni, and Aparu. Uh, they completely demolish you and your friends. Your friends meet horrible, terrible fates, ones that can only be likened to your own. As the hags don't exactly take kindly to the burgomaster sending out adventurers to try to steal from them. And so they send you back with a present of your own, something to give the burgomaster. As you wander through the swamp, all the animals, creatures flee from you. You had kind of had to fight your way into the black mire. You simply stroll on out, your way cleared before you. Oh, everything except for, an assortment of vermin and bugs and small, skittery creatures that all seem to follow you back to town. And you deliver a curse to the Burgermeister, one that brings utter and complete ruin to his household. And not only his, but the town, as a plague begins to sweep through the town. And you're driven from the town, having caused this. But the plague that you brought to the Burgermeister kind of sticks to you. And no matter where you go, you bring nothing but plague and misfortune. And just like Riven, you're driven from everywhere you go, unable to ever rest, stay in one place for any length of time. You wander for the next 60 odd years. Whereas Natasha, second, Natasha had a very different upbringing. Natasha was the daughter of the Burgermeister, uh, Gregory Valen of Ashwallow, kind of this small, you know, farming village in the stillborn forest. Kind of, the daughter to Lunsk, the small daughter, anyways, the younger sibling. But despite the small town life, Natasha, uh, you know, upbringing starts off idyllic. You know, playing the viol and studying in her or reading in her father's study. That is until Lord Dmitri Balachev arrives. A vampire comes to town, establishing or quickly taking over your home, your village, your very mind, as he quickly establishes a cult inside the village where all the villagers worship him, and it is a blessing to give of your bodies to the Lord. You know, being at the young, impressionable age that you are, you're very quickly indoctrinated. But word of what is going on, of this upstart vampire, lord in name only, that has taken over this small farming village, begins to kind of spread through the land. The Order of Dawn catches wind of this. They send a group of hunters out to end his unnatural existence and cleanse the land of his corruption. And they make quick work, and his spawn alike. But they're not done there. They go about the town, go about the village, rounding up all the cultists, which is the majority of the village at this point, branding them as collaborators with this magic tattoo of a severed snake before they take them to the pyre to be burnt alive. And that is your fate, as you are being led to the pyre. The flames suddenly snuff out, casting the whole village in darkness. Before this swarm of vampire spawn comes, scurrying through the streets on all fours, barreling into order members, bringing them to ground and savaging them. As chaos reigns all around you, the true members of the oligarchy begin to stroll through the streets. The members of the order either dying or fleeing into the forest. But while your other fellow survivors are fated to ultimately become supper they spare you because a bit of magic inside you and something of use might as well be salvaged from the situation. You later learn that Countess Caitlin Lopescu saves you, spares you. You're brought back and trained. Be You're brought back with her to be trained to be of some use. You end up becoming a black hand of the Countess. Mortal working in the background, outside the eyes of the law, and more importantly, the eyes of the Crimson Court. So, we have this vagabond who has roamed the lands or the land for the last 60 years. This homeless owl man who seems to bring misfortune wherever he goes. And this young, ambitious, um, let's say,
Non-heretic.
this
Non-heretic.
young, ambitious, ex-cultist uh, who seems to have found maybe a route to power. You know,
Mhm.
how have you guys met? Are you
We met on the way. I was walking down the road to my destination, and he happened to be walking on that road too. Like they converged, and we're like, I walked a little ahead of him, but he was just always there the entire time. I was like, "You good with that bow? You looking kind of raggedy? You looking for work?"
So what is your character attired in? I would say some fancy clothes.
Um, yeah, chainmail, and then my background actually did come with fine clothes in the diplomat's pack.
So a person that might actually have some coin on
Yeah.
them. So I intentionally give myself maybe a little bit of a slight limp, not nothing debilitating. Hello, lass. Can I be of service? I know the area very well. Where are you headed?
Oh, just this little travelers and like way down over here. Should be like 10 hours away. But yeah, I do need a extra hand.
Well, the path up there gets a little tricky, and sometimes people around these parts get a little lost. I can tell you exactly where to go. I can guide you, and I can even keep you away from the little critters that like to nip at your heels.
Mm.
For a little coin, I can guide you there safely. I know these parts very well.
I look him up and down.
as he says, the little creatures, a rat scurries across,
Yeah.
you know.
How holy is your clothes? Is it you like tattered? You dirty everywhere, and
He's been on the road for a little while. He's not filthy.
do
Maybe he dunked himself in a river maybe a day ago.
I see your toes through your shoes?
What shoes?
Okay, there we go. I got. I'll I'll pay you 1 gold a month for your services.
I don't know about a gold a month, but then as Erebus sees her pull a coin out of her purse and sees how heavy that purse might be, Erebus is like, in his head, of course, it's like,
Mm.
if she dies on the road, it might be beneficial for me to reclaim the materials that she has on her person for whoever it may belong to, and next of kin and whatever, and I'll make sure it gets to that person.
Okay. Okay.
Safety in numbers.
I
So what
think
do you
you know.
tell?
Well, I don't think a gold a month would be fine, but you pay me a gold, I'll make sure you get to where you're going.
All right, we can discuss the contract later, but we have a deal, you know. And I offer my hand to shake, and I think to myself, man, I got a free helper right here. I'm gonna take advantage of this vagabond. You know, I got an extra pair of hands. He can shoot arrows for me.
Erebus reaches up because Erebus is a medium creature, but he's also kind of short, so he reaches up and grabs your hands, and as he does, he kind of like he fake stumbles a little bit and tugs on your arm to give try to gauge how strong you are. He puts his weight on you.
Oh, well, I steady you up far, and I get a little distance, and I look over my arm to see if it's a little dirty or not.
So
But
so as you take Erebus's hand, right? It kind of ruffles some of his feathers, and a little cockroach runs out from underneath a feather and down his sleeve.
I take a step back. No, you think you got a parasite there.
No, that's a snack for later. Don't worry about that.
Uh,
Reaches into his tunic and pulls out the same cockroach, or
Yep,
no,
right
pulls
in
out
the
a
mouth.
different cockroach.
Different cockroach. The first one was black. This one's kind of purplish color.
Yeah.
well, I guess you don't gotta worry about rations. They you got a breeding pool. Just
How do you
pop it
think
out.
he? How do you think he has stayed? He has stayed fed despite his long travels and pitiful coin. He grows his own food.
It just
Well,
apparates into existence.
all right, well, guide the way, Mister her name?
Erebus.
Hermes.
Erebus.
Erebus.
There you go.
You can call me Lady Natasha.
Nastasha?
Natasha.
Nabasha. Sorry, my ears are a little clogged today.
Here, I'll write it down on the contract later, and then
That goes.
you can read it. It's fine. Here, just guide the way. We'll get there.
Oh, okay. Natasha. You should have said that originally. Okay. This way. He literally spins around 360 and then points in that direction. Let's go.
Anyway, I look at him and I look at that direction. Do I think this is the correct direction? He lying to me.
I don't know, Erebus, are you headed in the right direction?
It's different from the direction she was headed, but it is generally in the same direction.
I'll let
I
you
gotta
do
earn my
your.
coin some way, so I gotta convince her she was going the wrong way. It's literally just a footpath to the side, but it's heading to the same place.
I'll let you guide me, but I don't think I was going the wrong way. But I'll see how good you do. All right. I might have to.
Can I get one of you two to change your colors on your
Oh.
dice?
Oh, we're both gray, aren't we? Huh?
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm an old man. You
yeah.
change yours there.
Go blood red. There we go.
All right. So let's see here. So you hire Natasha hires Erebus to use as a minion
Not a minion. I'm a god. How dare you?
/ guide.
One gold coin.
Erebus, seeing that
Loot pinata.
Tasha
Rich.
is rich, plans to steal her money down the road. Okay. All right. Um. All right, so we've kind of figured out, who your characters are and how they have kind of met up. Does anyone have any questions about the world or or the upcoming campaign?
Where's the Countess's castle that I work at?
Uh, she resides in Nova Estoya,
Alright.
in the capital.
Okay. There we go.
Your hometown, or what's left of it, is Ashwallow, to the north of the Glasswater Lake.
Alright. Some other questions. How quick are we dying, Emic? No, I'm just kidding.
Look, I have no intent to. That's a lie. I might kill you.
3 summoners.
Three summoners is a bit much, but it's up to you guys to make sure that you survive.
Jim loves you kill any. Amek, you kill any one of these.
Can we
All
just
I'm
add a
saying,
name?
all I'm saying is you guys are level 1, very squishy. So
What, 1 crit will I'll take.
think about what you're doing, and play a bit of checkers is all I'm asking.
My wrist. My wrist.
Hey, can we add more to St. Deanna's every session? I mean, it's doing pretty well over there.
It's got a laser cannon on top of the site,
And therapeutic care. Inpatient and outpatient.
That's next session. Come on, brother.
Okay.
Anyway,
So-
St. Deanna's.
If no one has any further questions, we'll hop into. We could do either blue or red session first. Do you guys have any preference?
We
we
should do
can roll
rollies.
for it.
Go for blue. I want to see the blue.
Alright. We'll let Blue go first. See how they die.
Excuse me.
Okay.
I wish to do rollies.
I do.
Too
as
late.
well.
Yeah, what part of Team Red already voted for you guys? Guys, I don't want.
All right. Yeah. Make sure.
The one
my
question
notes
is
are all open.
I don't need a license for divine magic, right? It's the other magic that are garbage.
No, divine magic's still sort of like, oh, don't go casting me all willy nilly.
So
That's another set of problems. Yeah.
So non-arcane magic is not licensed.
Yeah.
But
it's still a hot commodity in a different way.
yeah. And so arcane magic is licensed, and and I would be careful, swinging around your magic stick lest you hit a mage hunter upside the head.
Oh, we're all part of the same team here, Mage Hunter friend.
Mm-hmm.
Look at
Where's
this
your license?
I don't need.
You don't
a
have
divine.
one?
I'm a cleric. Here's my holy symbol.
All right. So all right. So Team Red, you don't have to stick around. But you're more than welcome to. Nothing here is really a secret. Though you do need to keep separate in your mind what is happening here versus what your characters know. Because, conversations about, this information will naturally drive some role play between your characters. Uh,
Player knowledge versus character knowledge.
I'm going to step away for a second to get another drink, and then we'll start.
Yeah, can we have 5 minutes real quick?
Yeah, let's take 5 minutes. Let's take a 5-minute break. Lucian and Mareid. You guys have wandered for many weeks now. You know, and during this time, you have eventually found yourself on your way from Void up to Lunsk. Hang on, sorry.
On our way from where to Lunsk? Oh, Void. Okay.
On your way from Void to Lunsk.
Man, we've been traveling.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding. Jesus. A couple kids
And,
from the Gray all the way in Void?
Yeah, man. Let's fucking go.
And so you're currently in the forest on your way from Void to Lunsk. You broke camp just an hour or so ago, and as you're kind of making your way through the forest, the fog is kind of billowing through the trees, and filling you with unease as to what exactly lays ahead of you. You've had a few fights over the past couple days, testing you and tiring you on your way, but between the two of you, you've kind of managed to stay ahead of things and fight off any critters that come looking. But as you guys are making your way down the road, during the early morning, you start to hear the crunch, rock, gravel, and the noise of metal clinking and jingling. And you wonder what's going on. You kind of pull off to one. You guys, step off to one side of the road, ready to bolt into the trees lest some kind of danger, show up.
I cover one of my eyes very quickly.
Okay, so you pull kind of a already placed eye patch down over your face, and
Make sure my pants are safe now.
and as you kind of no sooner do this than you start to see shapes begin to manifest in the fog, and out of the fog comes this large covered wagon, a man kind of at the reins, and you see an old woman kind of sitting within, nattering away at some piece of cloth. You see several people kind of walking alongside, and you realize that it's a caravan pulling, coming up the road.
Any markings on their wagons or anything that we would recognize?
No, it's a pretty basic wagon.
Okay.
It doesn't have any company name or anything like that on it.
It's not like a merchant.
No. I'd like you to roll me insight, though.
It says House Drosko on it.
Keep in mind, I can't read, so if it does have words on it, I don't recognize them. It's just
That's why I rolled. That's why I had you roll insight.
okay.
So you don't you can't you don't see any markings on it that you recognize.
Mhm.
But kind of looking at the people and kind of how how they're on edge,
Uh-huh.
but they seem to kind of be covering that as they kind of joke with each other and talk amongst themselves. And you feel like you kind of get the feeling that they're kind of like that they're traders of some kind,
Mhm.
from kind of how they're going about it, kind of the goods that are stored in the back of the wagon. um but you see that the woman isn't, you thought originally like maybe she was like knitting or something, but you notice that she seems to be you know like taking some cloth and making a bandage out of it. And you see that there's a shoe up on like a foot kind of rested up on the headboard, or like
Mhm.
that front board of the wagon.
Mhm.
So you assume that there's someone laying in the wagon.
Have they noticed us?
um yeah, you're definitely close enough for them to notice. As as like no sooner do they come out of the mist, out of the fog, than they also see you.
Mhm.
Is there anything you're doing?
Um, not like particularly. I'll lean my weight onto the cane on one side and wave over to them, just doing a quick hello and acknowledgement.
Are they like close enough that like not shouting to like draw attention, but like a slight raised voice you would hear it because in the forests they're dangerous
Yeah.
in
So
our world.
yeah,
Yeah.
with a raised voice, you could easily talk to them. They're
Alright.
they're 30 feet down the road from you.
G'day, mates. You all right up there? Could you use a few hands?
Hey, yeah. Morning to you. We are you looking for work?
Yeah, we're on our way to Lunsk. Figure there's strength in numbers. You never know what's in the forest.
We know what's in the forests.
Oh?
That, but you have a good point.
Yeah, mate,
As
we ain't looking for no handouts. We'll work our way through it.
what do you think, Mida? She seems to kind of cinch something. You hear a "Ah!" Well, it's not like this lummox here is going to be much use. I might as well get a fresh pair of legs and some. She kind of looks over at Lucian. A strong back to help. But who's the skinny one?
Evening. I'm Mareid. I might be able to help with that, actually.
Speak up,
My name's
young
Mareid,
lady. I
miss.
can't. My ears aren't exactly what they used to be.
My name is Mareid, miss. I might be able to help you with the healing. With the
Okay,
healing!
okay. No need to shout.
Right?
Mazzy, you gotta use your inside voice, not all the time. Come on now.
It's not very helpful, Lucian.
Sure it was.
You said you were useful. What happened exactly?
I
Obviously not eating stew.
know a little bit about medicine. I can get him to standing again.
She smacks the foot. Ah, my God damn it! You hear that, Verko? She has a hand at medicine. Maybe she can help that leg of yours. We can't pay you, but if you're willing to walk and don't mind keeping an eye out on the forest for anything that goes lurking about, there'll be a warm meal and a tent over your heads come nightfall.
Be sure to give you my best one, sir. I wink, but it looks like a blink.
He kind of looks at you a little strangely. All right, let's get this show back on the road.
Okay, I will sort of like jog over to the wagon guy. I'm a fairly fit person. They're traveling really fucking slow. What do you want me, boss?
Well, normally, Varco here would be up at the front keeping an eye out for things. Can you use that sword you got on your back?
I prefer the spear, but it's alright. Got a couple axes too.
You know how to stick 'em, do you?
Oh, yeah.
Well, head on up there. Keep a lookout for things. If you see anything, give me the signal. Don't go shouting out, "Oh, monster!" Because that's usually when they attack.
Yeah. What do you want your signal to be?
I don't care, just make it obvious. But not too obvious if you get my drift. I'll be keeping an eye on you.
Lucian thinks this is a terrible idea, but doesn't say anything.
Okay. As you kind of take stock of the group, you see that there's that the caravan's kind of made up of about 6 people, and the one large wagon. One of the people seems to be a kind of a fit kind of dark complexioned man that seems to be laying back in the uh, in the um, uh, in the cart with one kind of leg up, a wrap around his leg. He's wearing armor and he has a sword kind of at his side that he kind of keeps kind of touching from time to time. But he seems to be in quite a bit of pain, and you see that there's kind of like an old woman there that seems to kind of be kind of giving him some rough care.
Throw some dirt in, you'd be alright. Back in my day, we weren't such bitches.
Oh, Nicholas, what happened here? And I'm taking out a herbalism kit.
The old woman, kind of speaks up for kind of speaks up as if answering your question. Damn fool went and got himself gored.
Yeah, I can see that. Why?
Should have just used the crossbow like I told you. It
Well-
didn't rightly give me the chance to.
Does it look like anything specific? They say bored. Is it specifically by a boar?
He said gored.
Gored. I mean, was he gored by a boar?
So you kind of clamber up into the wagon.
I'm very careful. And it looks like I'm having trouble because of a leg, which would make sense with the cane, but I'm just being very careful that the leg doesn't get uncovered.
So
Stealth check.
so you start to climb up into the Lucian is kind of talking to the wagon boss there, and you're kind of clambering up into the wagon, before everything starts to get moving, and this you hear ooh, ooh, kind of echo out from the trees. Ah! That's 3 hours this morning! Third one means death! I tell you, best knot up your boots!
Why does a third one mean death?
Cause that's the way it is, girl! And here we have our guard, and he smacks his leg again. Ah, god damn it, woman!
Uh,
Laid up and useless.
The sounds of healing.
this is not the sound of hailing.
The guy on the wagon nods sagely to me.
Best we get moving.
Yeah.
You in, lass?
Yeah,
He
just
kind of glances.
let me. Right. Just shuffling in.
The old lady reaches over, grabs hold of you with
That wiry old lady strength.
with that wiry old lady strength, that belies her years. She grabs you by the back of your shirt and drags you up. Get on in here, quit dilly dallying. Damn, girl. Ain't you ever climbed into a wagon before?
Well, no, I haven't. I mean, of course I have. That's how people travel. It's normal.
Oh, Derek.
What's wrong with you, girl?
I was kind of born sick. Lost a lot.
Well, maybe you ought to get out of the wagon here. You don't want to get all Varco sick with him in his puny state.
It's not that type of sickness. They cut it out.
No, why didn't you say that?
Sorry.
Here y'all go try and spread the plague. With the plague? What you? No, I did say. Shut it, Marco. Ah, God damn it, woman!
Wait.
How's a man supposed to heal when you keep hitting his banged up leg?
Hold on. I'm gonna start working on some kind of practice.
Anything keep from the ministrations of that witch. Don't you say W word at me, Varco.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I didn't say nothing.
So you begin kind of working on this man. I'd like a medicine check from you, and I'd like a perception check from Lucian as you start, making your way down the road, and you're kind of watching out for things.
I'm too busy trying to use my mangled ear to hear trouble kicks off in the wagon. Surely she'll be alright with Shroud.
All right, so Mareid, you pull back this bandage, and it's pus filled.
Ugh.
It stinks, and it doesn't look good. It looks like he has been gored in the thigh by some kind of by some animal, whether it's like like a tusk from a boar, or like some kind of antler or something along those lines. It is thinner and narrower, so it kind of makes you think that maybe not a boar.
Is the lady still with? Of course she's with me. She's technically taking care of him.
Yeah. And you can see that there's like red veins, like streaks running up and down his leg, where it's obviously infected.
Yeah, I'll try and work quickly. You didn't say what it was specifically that hit him. Though I suppose as long as it wasn't a creature that was poisonous itself, it doesn't make.
No, it wasn't. Oh, careful there, girl. It's tender. It wasn't nothing poisonous. A fucking wretch stag. Those gold invested deers coming stuck you good. I told you shoot it with the fucking crossbow. Now didn't I?
Girl infested.
Yes, you did.
You said girl infested?
Yes, and one of those sickly wretch stags came in, going all crazy, trying to attack people. I couldn't rightly get my crossbow out when it was already upon me, so I had to cut it down with my sword here.
How long ago was this?
Last night.
Does this infection look... Would this be quick for this infection to spread?
No, that's about right.
That's about right.
Hang on, I have to let Harvey out.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Grim, do you have the lady's name?
No, I do not. They were just shouting a whole bunch.
I know. I want to say it was like Gladys or something like that, but I don't remember.
We're gonna
There was a lot. There was a
We're-
lot of shouting, man.
gonna have to get by with Miss
It was Mita.
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 Old Mita.
Old Mita. Where the fuck is my pencil?
Crotchety old bitch.
Language.
It's a silver for the jar.
I didn't say it in character. Mhm.
Poor puppy eyeballs were afloat. Come on.
Doing my best.
Poor-
I'm holding it,
Poor
Papa.
pupperoo.
Good
Poor
boy.
pupperoo.
All right. All right. So where were we? So you were investigating his wound.
You said that this was accurate
Lucian.
for a day. Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like it. It's been over 24 hours. Um, you know, so he said it happened the night before last. Um,
It
and so
looks like
it's been about it's been over 24 hours. That's it. For the infection, seems about right as far as you can tell. Um,
it's been cleaned, that sort of thing.
it looks like it's been bandaged and cleaned. Maybe not greatly, not
Oh,
super well, but
right.
it has been bandaged and cleaned. Um, there is some there is some you recognize that there is um, some necrotic kind of infection going on here, likely from the ghoul the ghoul infested deer that kind of tracks.
Yeah. Can I make some sort of poultice specifically for the infection?
What do you have?
I just have the herbalism kit, whatever that specifies. It's not something that they mention, but if you'd like, I could also try and think of what's around here. See if I could find something.
Um, so you can use the herbalism kit to kind of help him, you know, hold him over till you guys get to um,
A
Lunsk.
real healer.
But outside of some herbs that you don't really have, there's no real way to kind of heal him. Um, Only kind of tide him over until you guys can get to town. You imagine that you're 1, 2, 3 days away from town.
Alright. I think for now we'll give you a little bit of poultice, but in the night I'm going to have to call upon Nicholas a little bit. And we'll change your dressings in.
So you kind of begin, kind of dressing his wound and working on it, um, and you know, you know, cutting into your precious, herbalism kit. But you think the man, while he's okay now, in a day or two, he'd be really in a lot of trouble. And so you're like, I got to do something. So you start working on his leg, cleaning it better, you know, um, setting it up so it'll drain some, and beginning to kind of create a poultice to pack into the wound.
Oh, God damn.
I know, it hit.
As you're working on this, Lucian's kind of looking around, watching out for trouble. Um, but you're not really seeing anything, and Lucian's kind of too busy listening to the antics going on. Um, uh, Back inside the cart.
Mhm.
Let me know how it fails over the day.
Yeah, well, I can tell you it's already doing better than prior
Do I believe this fucking
administrations.
man?
Yeah, you believe him as old Mita is, giving, giving, glaring at him with each of his sentences as he kind of, carefully parses his words. You guys, you guys eventually make your way down the trail. Um, you know, under Lucian's not so careful eye, you guys kind of watch what's
It's
going
fine.
Lucian, I feel
on.
like you're checking in on me a lot. Why don't you stay at the
Ow.
front? I'm fine over here. It's all right. See, I think I did a good
Mhm.
job.
Mhm. Mhm.
What? It's all right.
That woman gonna murder her in that wagon.
The woman's gonna murder you.
You keep being a busybody, you won't get no stew tonight. Now get your
Alright, I'm
good looking
gone.
ass back up the road.
Alright, I'm gone. I'm zip back that one. Don't want nothing to do with that.
That's only like 70.
No, I'm good.
For the remainder of the time,
Nowhere near that
Maraid,
fucking wagon.
you have a very, you know, awkward, the conversation with old Mita as she regales you on the you know and questions you quite deeply about the uh, you know young men's firm behinds and the and
I'm.
Maraid has a very difficult journey for the next few hours.
I don't know that many young men, ma'am. Never mind to go looking at them.
Well, you really shouldn't let that opportunity for that tale to pass you by.
Ma'am, look at me. There's no young men gonna go after me.
You don't know that. There's a reason why that young man right there's,
He
traveling with you.
would not.
Oh, honey, you don't know. It's so
He
naive,
wouldn't.
so
All right.
naive.
Is
Look, I
anyway.
tell you the secrets. You lean on in, and you don't. You keep your ears to yourself, Varco. Yes, ma'am.
I'm
Wisdom of the
looking to
ages.
Arco like, please save me.
You're on your own, kid.
he just turns away. All right. So the next several hours pass very difficult for Maraid.
Yeah, 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 no.
As Lucian's mangled ear gets a little warm, hearing some of the topics being discussed behind him.
Please stop. Please stop.
Unbelievable.
Please stop.
But eventually, you guys
Let me just go
make your
crawl in a ditch
way
and
up
die.
towards Lusk. Another day's travel, but you have yet to get out of the forest before you have to camp. You guys pull off the trail a little ways, and the caravan begins to break down and set up camp. Um, they pull out several different tents, while some of the men go a short distance away and begin gathering up firewood. And before long, a nice fire is built and going. A cookbot has been put out above the fire. Old Mita begins to skin some potatoes and work on her stew.
What is she putting
Um,
in the stew?
Seems to be a bit of rabbit,
Mhm.
some potatoes, some wild caught carrots, a few herbs here and there. Um, but you know, as things kind of settle down, you get to know several of the people there. Um, Farco seems to have been with the caravan for a few years now, working as a as a guard and hunter for the party. Um, Old Mita is kind of the heart, as dark as it may be, of the group. Um, there, and there's, Aaron and his two sons are, Aaron being the wagon boss, and his two sons kind of, um, uh, transporting the goods up to Lunsk. There's a another traveler that is heading with the caravan for kind of mutual protection. A
Mhm.
young a middle-aged scholar, um, Edrin Val that or Edrin Vel that is kind of keeps to himself and quiet. Um, seems to always kind of have his nose in a book, much to Aaron's kind of begruntled disgust. Um, but you guys settle down for the night and begin to kind of, cook your supper as it kind of begins to smell good and night begins to fall. You all start to kind of relax. Um,
Yes, so Mr. Vale, what are you reading?
None of your business. Are are that's my business, and none of yours. You who? What? I never quite caught your name.
Oh, my name is Mareid. I'm, well, I guess it's kind of obvious. We're just we're from the Grey. But I don't know, I liked reading before, but it's kind of heavy to carry.
That it is. It heavy is the burden of knowledge. But uh, you know how to read. I didn't think that people in these parts were that well educated.
Well, I guess we're not really from these parts specifically. But yeah, well, I had family that liked reading things in medical journals more, but um,
um, I
I,
would like you to roll me an insight check. Um, the man has a bit of a Burek uh, accent. He seems to, be hiding fairly well, but you can kind of catch it in the way that he phrases some words, and as he kind of gets a little disgruntled and flustered, which, you know, let's happens more than he would probably like. Um, you can kind of pick it up in the way in some of his words. These, the other people here in camp, being, less well educated than yourself, probably have never heard it before and don't recognize the accent.
Okay. I'm going to assume that he's fairly well traveled then. But I'm also just gonna be like continuing to ramble on. Like if he's not offering information about his own book, I will start offering information about my own. Yeah, like my family wanted me to learn some Castanellan, so they were teaching me through it's, well, I'd call it more funny than particularly enlightening. It was a story about a man who pretended to be of nobility, and he would go up on this hill and he would go and attack this I think it was a windmill. And he pretended to be this piece of nobility while he was atop a donkey.
Ah, yes. Tilting at windmills. It's sure sign of insanity, if I have to say so. I think we've read the same story.
Yeah?
And so he begins to kind of, he starts to kind of open up to you as he the two of you begin to talk about Don Quixote, and you and you start to pull him um, out of his shell, so to speak. And as you do, you get a glance at his book, and it's kind of like this old, cracked leather tome that has an embossed symbol upon the front of it.
What's the symbol look like?
I just posted.
He
Oh,
just
you posted
posted it. Yes, it's a bad symbol.
It's a bad. What do you mean it's a bad symbol?
Foreshadowing.
It's like it's a curious kind of sunburst that you've never seen before. So as you guys,
So while she's doing that, how old is the wagon boss's kids? Are they like our age? Or are they younger?
so they're 19, 20, and one's kind of 23 and or 24, kind of young adults,
Mm-hmm.
very much capable of caring for the helping Aaron take over and perform the duties of transporting all of these goods.
Okay. And this is what our second night staying with the camp, right?
So this is your first night staying with the group.
Okay.
Yeah. Mareid, tended to Verko's Verko's leg, and she and old Mita kind of talked about the frivolities of a young maid, and and that fine firm ass that is walking up ahead of them.
Please, no more.
Yeah. I think Lucian's trying to like keep his head down, eat soup, whittle, and like trying not to draw attention at that point.
And you guys have kind of gone through the day fairly uneventfully, and tonight, and you guys have kind of set up to camp tonight, And as this is kind of going, the clouds overhead kind of begin to part as kind of a storm is kind of blowing through. The clouds are kind of moving quickly, and you see old Mita kind of shiver as as kind of a rigor rolls up her spine, and she glances up as the as as the moon begins to peek through the clouds. The moon's too sharp tonight. Wolves will be walking like men. You watch yourselves. And keep that spear close, boy. She pulls her shawl around her and moves a bit closer to the fire.
I try to keep a better eye on camp then. Put away my project.
So you
Did you
so
touch
you're
much of the food?
No. She approached the fire. I had to leave.
I'll bring some to you.
I had to get out of there, man. It's bad.
I know. I don't think.
Right.
I mean, they talked to me about this sort of thing, but
Please no. Please stop.
just
Just
take
stop
it.
talking about it.
Just
So-
take the bowl.
So Lucian walks off away from the fire, and old Mita, having left your bowl behind, old Mita kind of leans in, kind of elbows you, like, you go get him now, Tiger. Now's your chance.
Face and hands. I'm just trying to deliver him some soup.
So Lucian, you hear old Mita cackling back here as you're startled as Mareid, steps up behind you with a bowl of soup.
This man is as red as his cloak.
Mareid can't look at you.
He does not want to be here anymore. I'll take it, and I will. I'll thank you, and then I will walk
I
and
quietly
eat my
say.
soup as quick as possible.
I quietly just say under my breath, Sprague, I wish you could have taken over. You can stop laughing at me.
You should tell Sprague I would beat his ass.
Beat their ass. Shuffle on back.
So Mareid, you shuffle on back towards the fire, and Lucian, you kind of in your
I'm looking for
embarrassment-
any sort of escape.
Yeah, in your embarrassment, you decide to kind of walk away
Yep.
a short distance and
Patrol. Yep. Gotta be as way as far away from that old lady as possible.
I'd like you to roll a perception check with disadvantage.
With disadvantage?
Yeah,
'Cause
you're
you're
distracted.
Okay. Well, damn.
Whatever the case, we'll blame the old lady if we die.
It is 100% this fucking old lady's fault.
Love
Me.
you, sugar lips. So some time passes.
Oh, before I go to sleep, I will go back over to him and cast some Cure Wounds.
Okay.
This should
Oh, you did some magic.
a little bit. Just going to call on Miklas a little bit. It should just help you through the night. We'll really.
I can take a prayer, anything to help with the God bless leg.
All right. Miklas, please grace us in the night. Come and take care of this man. And yeah, I'll. It's a
All right.
cure wounds.
Are you trying to hide your magic here, or are you just, doing it openly?
A little
You
bit.
got a subtle spell?
I'll hide it a little bit, but I think that cure wounds is considered more of a holy spell.
So you kind of lay your hands on his wounded leg to try to hide, whatever's going on. But in the depth and dark of the tent here, it's very difficult to hide as the palms of your hands begin to glow. I'd like you to roll me a sleight of hand, DC 15.
Fucking hell.
You can do it.
Sleight of hand. I'll use
Unfortunately,
inspiration.
Okay.
Nope, it's not meant to be.
That is so fucking close, man.
I know it is. I know.
Sadness.
so
Alright.
a faint golden glow begins to emanate out and shine out from the gaps between the bandage in your hand as you cast Cure Wounds. So roll Cure Wounds.
Ooh.
All right. So you heal him. And
Oh, thank you, girl. Oh, I, I, I didn't realize you were touched. I appreciate the help. Ah, that feels much better.
You'll have to forgive me. I'm from the north. What's touched me?
You got the touch.
Does that sound familiar to me at all?
You can. No.
Great.
The healing hand. The.
No, it's
Damn, girl, you can help folk.
yes, I can. All right. But sorry,
Well-
I just hadn't heard the term.
Thank you nonetheless. That'll help me sleep something. That'll help me sleep tonight. I appreciate that.
and he kind of puts his foot up on a pot, his duffel bag, raising it up a little bit.
That's much better.
As you're doing this, Lucian, you hear a distant
Carried that direction?
you turn and you listen, you're like, what was that? Several long seconds pass, and you hear as another two cracks rip through the night.
Does it sound like thunder? On a
Yeah,
cloudless
sort of.
night?
And then you hear like yells and screams. As you realize, no, that's not thunder. That's the distant echoes of gunshots.
How late is it? Are people like finishing up dinner?
Yeah, so it's
Like
it's
people aren't in bed yet, right?
some
Oh,
people
yeah.
are in bed. Some people have gone to bed. Like Erdenvel and his youngest and Aaron's youngest boy have both gone to kind of bed. Uh,
But Aaron's
Varko
not.
has Aaron's not. Neither has old Mita. Varko is is being ministered to by Mareid.
Do I know roughly the direction that's coming from? I would assume so.
Yeah, it sounds like it's coming from the south.
All right. I'm gonna go find Aaron. Um, without like raising alarm to other people, I'm gonna go find him.
All right, so you kind of come back. You come back. You kind of materialize out of the darkness as you head over, and you discreetly kind of approach Aaron, and you're like,
Boy,
Aaron's kind of
mate.
carrying on a conversation with old Mita as old Mita kind of natters away at at Aaron, kind of good naturedly, like they've had this same argument 1,000 times about exactly how you should clean the pot. Um, you know, and you kind of come up to Aaron and you're like,
Boy, mate. You alright if we have a word real quick?
Yeah. What's the matter?
You got gunshots coming from the south, buddy. And some shouts of alarm. Do you want to go send a party to help some folk? Or do you want to just increase the watch?
That's their problem. That's their problem. We're not getting involved in no nonsense like that.
You want to increase the watch then? Because whatever they're firing at, they might chase it up here. Or, they could be bandits.
Yeah, I'll take the first watch with you. Two of us will stay up, watch over things.
Righto?
If anything's likely to show up, they'll show up then.
Alright. So I'm gonna start heading back. Do I see Mareid at any point on my way back? And can I run like an intercept to her on my way back to like resuming my thing? Yeah. Okay, I do. Hey, maybe keep your cane a little closer tonight. There's trouble to the south, so we might have visitors.
Yeah, I was going to like try to avoid your eyes for a moment, but you sound like legitimately concerned. Right.
It'll be alright.
I don't have to tell anyone else, do I?
No, I've already told Aaron. It'll be alright. He and I are going to keep the first watch.
Alright. I'd say let me know, but I think all of you will let us know. Just stay safe. Safe out there.
Of course. Rob, keep us safe.
I can take care of myself. Just
And
fine.
I'm gone. Yep, nope. Already gone.
all right. So you kind of, Aaron seems to be kind of staying by the fire, keeping it kind of stoked and running through the night. Old Mita is still kind of hanging out for a little while, not really quite ready to go to bed. But everyone else has since gone off to their tents. Mareid, what are you doing?
I'll take. Fuck. I'll take a sit with Mita. I'm worried. I don't want to not hear him because I'm asleep. Plus, I don't have to sleep as much anyhow.
Okay. And Lucian, you're kind of patrolling around the outskirts of the fire, kind of sticking out into the, wandering out into the dark a little ways.
Mhm.
And the night begins to kind of grow colder, and the forest suddenly gets quiet. As if it's holding its breath.
Mhm.
You go on high alert, looking around like something's wrong, something's not right here. I need you to roll a perception check. So you start looking around. And you hear a rustle, tearing of leaves and sticks as something's running towards you.
I'm gonna take a hit next and I'm gonna fuck. Get into that.
You throw this hand axe. It goes whirling end over end into a bush where like the bush suddenly starts shaking. You throw this hand axe. Roll my attack.
Oh.
It's a
A
good
deer
hand.
jumps out of the bush. Right as it's jumping out of the bush, the hand axe takes it clean in the head. And it's just like ka-chunk. It folds up and falls down.
No?
Twitching.
Alright.
And you're like,
Alright. That's lunch for tomorrow.
you're like, yeah, that's lunch.
No, I don't shout or anything, but I'm like, alright, and I
No, like internally, you're like,
yeah, that's some good stew right there. I'll use the tip of my spear to finish it and retrieve my axe.
Yeah, so you walk up and you kind of like you reach over to bend down to pick up the hand axe, but before you can grab hold of it, suddenly this black wolf comes barreling out of the same bush, pouncing on top of you and begins ripping into you as you try to like you try to fend itself off, but like your spear's kind of knocked aside, and you raise up your as it comes for your throat, you raise up your arm and it grabs hold of your arm, it begins shaking you back and forth. Its teeth digging into your arm as you begin to get savaged by this beast. And I need everyone to roll for initiative as I bring you all to a new map.
Lovely.
First map. Well, second map.
So give me just a second here.
Yep, that tracks. Clear time.
Where are you? All the way over
What you will fake.
All right. Let's see here. Yeah. All right. Get this open.
That's wrong.
Oh shit. Don't throw your con save.
And then I need. Why do you keep disappearing?
I don't know. There's like two of me right there.
Refresh
Yeah, I
your
don't know if
page.
you're.
There is not two of you.
There was.
Okay.
Let me try refreshing my page.
do a wiggle back and forth.
Okay, there we go.
Wig, wig, wig.
So there's still 2 of you.
I don't fucking know, man. There's only one of me
Refresh your
now.
page.
Yeah, there's only one of me now, Krim.
Okay.
Alright, let's see. And then, alright. Initiative. These guys. All right. So,
Team Red
Mareid,
don't
go ahead.
Team Red don't got vision on them deaths they're coming.
Yeah, you
All
should
right,
put
hang
like a
on, I
little
got you guys.
vision. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Go. R.I.P.
That does like provide light on its own. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, hang on. There we go. Put it right there. Yeah. All right. So, Mareid, what are you doing? You hear Lucian scream out as growls as you know as some wild animal begins to attack.
He's not that far. They already think I have the touch, I guess. Let's just use things that are kind of similar. Can I see him?
Can you see him?
Yes, I can.
Um,
I just wasn't sure if like the cliff got in the way
he's
or
kind
something.
of laying in a bush, and you see that he's like wrestling with something. You can see him, but not well. But you can see him for line of sight purposes.
Okay. I'll cast Shield of Faith to begin with for him.
All right.
So consider your whatever your
Nice.
armor class is +2.
Delicious.
I do need to roll for the damage from getting hit previously.
Right, don't you need to roll to hit?
It surprised you, it bit you.
Okay, yeah.
Advantage.
But yeah, alright, 23 hits. Or I don't know how much damage.
I don't know why it's not rolling damage.
Who did that token?
No one did that token.
Does anyone remember why? What you had to do to get it to fix?
It's been a while since we've dealt with this
No.
technical difficulty.
Oh, it's 1 damage, brother? Alright, I got you.
That's very annoying. It is 1d8 plus 2.
Ow!
That's not hurt.
Yeah.
All right. Then the shield of faith kind of comes on you. It rears up and it bites you. It tries to savage you.
Oh.
I'm gonna use inspiration to make you reroll that.
You better.
There
Miss.
you go.
That's gonna miss.
I like punch it in the throat and then roll with that arm to get my shield between myself and it.
Yeah, so you kind of roll over, you hold up the shield, you start bashing it off, and then it hears Mareid's voice casting from by the fire, and it looks up. And then it's going to take off running.
Ammo! I'll use a hand axe because that's what I was picking up.
Uh-huh.
Be melee. I'll use inspiration to reroll it.
11 hits.
Oh, it does?
Or no,
That's
11 misses. Sorry.
Well, I use inspiration to reroll it.
Well,
anyway,
that
so it's
hits.
If it, miss.
8 damage to it.
It slams into the side of the beast,
Doesn't
and
really
it just
do
keeps running.
Yeah. I'm going for that ass.
And it's going to take.
Like no damage, yeah.
And as it runs into the fire Mareid, you see that this like feral wolf that's all bloodied and covered in wounds, half crazed, a hand axe sticking out of its side, comes running into the fire and leaps at you, and tries to bear you to the ground. It's going to rake at you with claws, which is going to miss. And then it is Lucian's turn. Lucian.
I pick up my spear and I fucking take off running. I think I can only get to 15 though, because of half speed. Did he actually knock me prone?
He did knock you prone.
Fuck. Okay. So I'll get to here. Yeah. Right there. And I'm going to throw another hand axe at it.
Did he take double damage from the crit?
The double damage was an 8, but I also don't.
Yeah, he took damage from the.
That was damage?
That was damage.
He's a werewolf.
9 misses.
Lucian.
9 misses. His AC's 12.
Guys, wolf! Nicholas, wake up!
Who's Nicholas?
Nicholas is the goddess of mercy. And I'm
Oh,
slowly
Nicholas.
realizing the amount of times we say Jesus in casual conversation.
All right, so Aaron reaches over, grabs a flaming log out of the fire, and starts beating the wolf over the top of the head. Everyone, get up! There's a wolf! Get up now! As he starts beating this wolf with this flaming chunk of wood. That's gonna hit for. Of course, it doesn't roll fucking damage.
This is just
For 3 fire damage.
the day.
All right. These guys are going to roll initiative again. They're not going to come in until next turn. They will join the commoner or Aaron on the next turn. Mareid.
I mean, I also have a stick. I don't want them to think poorly of me, but I need my shillelagh. Yep, this is gonna look weird. It's fine. I'll be picking up. This is a bonus action, by the way. I'm picking up some leaves off the floor. It's a shamrock, and I am spreading it across my club, and it suddenly seems to burst and flourish to actually be a club, and that's shillelagh. That's a bonus action, and we're gonna smack this wolf.
You got time to pick flowers?
What is with all these crits? All right. So you'll hit him with a shillelagh for 13 damage. Anything else?
No, I have to be in the way. People are still not up. Maybe I'll be over here.
Okay. Old Mita takes off running. She starts screaming and runs back here to hide behind the tent. and it is the werewolf's turn. The werewolf is going to turn around and rip into Mareid.
I really would like you to not. You're not.
13 hit.
No, you don't.
All right. He is going to turn around and slash at Aaron, who's attacking him. That's going to hit again. I keep acting like it's going to roll damage. 2d4 plus 2. That will be 6 damage. Aaron's entrails pour, like, the wolf reaches out, claws across his stomach, and it opens up like a zipper. His entrails fall out, and he falls into the fire and begins rolling around.
No.
Aaron is dead. And then Varco crawls out of the tent. He can't seem to stand up. He grabs hold of the log, and I'm gonna roll a strength check to see if he can stand up. I'll give him advantage because that's enough. Because you gave him the thing. Gets up to his feet. Fuck you! And he stabs at it with his sword. He misses. All right.
You tried.
Lucian. You're muted.
Can I come running over here, and as I do, can I use my spear to flick some of like the firewood and stuff onto the wolf, trying to set the wolf on fire?
Sure. I'll do it's like an improvised attack. So I'll just say roll my attack with disadvantage.
Okay.
And your attack will do fire damage instead.
Okay. Disadvantage attack. 20.
That hits.
6 fire damage to him.
6 fire damage. Minus 6. He meets your eyes, blood glistening from his teeth. Anything else you want to do?
I look behind me and there's no one behind me, right? 15. Yeah. I will, kind of with him having met my eyes, I'm gonna take my spear and like beat it against my shield, trying to goad him. And I will use Shadow of the Stoat to move away, trying to pull him away from the rest of the group.
Okay.
So I don't take a AOL. So if he'll come towards me at all.
All right.
Or, yeah.
Is that the end of your turn?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. The two boys come running out of the tent. No, father! And they just start beating on him with clubs. And they're both going to attack the. One will hit for for 4 damage. And then it is Mareid's turn. Mareid.
Alright, as long as their clubs are not as heavy as mine, hopefully we can keep its attention. Shillelagh. Or 10 bludgeoning.
Yep.
Yep, I'm going to try and goaded also a little bit more in Lucian's direction. These guys look quite squishy.
You can't stand in that square. That's the fire.
Yeah, that's the fire. Crap. No, I have to stay. I can't, like, point them in the direction of Maida. But that would also mean that she would be... Okay, we're here. We're here. That's my final decision.
The wolf turns and looks at you, Lucian. I would like you to roll me a deception check. To try, or persuasion. Let me rephrase it. Deception or intimidation to try to, like, draw, deception as in trying to, like, act hurt and pull this guy away, or intimidation as in, like, you're trying to
I'm the biggest
like
threat here. Get rid of me.
provoke
Yeah.
this guy, like I fucked you up, like come at me, I'm the bigger threat. He looks over you, and you can see intelligence in his eyes as he meets your eyes and turns over towards Mareid. And he's going to bite at Mareid.
Oh.
For a D8 plus 2.
Okay, 9. That
You
hurts.
have inspiration.
I do have inspiration.
Make me re-roll.
I think we're gonna save it still.
Oh no.
Okay.
No, fine. Well, go reroll. You make me nervous.
Oh.
It's me anyway. See, this is why we wait.
Oh.
You said it was 9?
You're gonna take 9 points of damage.
Yeah. All right.
All right. He's gonna turn around, swipe his claws at one of the guys behind him.
Now he rolls low.
on.
Yeah, he rolls low there.
Okay, we're fine.
And he's he's like getting ready to like turn around and and like finish off Mareid, when suddenly he's like he gets shot in the chest as a bit of bone and viscera explode out of his side as a gunshot echoes through the air. He takes off running through this gap, pulling over Verko. Leaps off the edge here and up to the top and begins running. Lucian.
I will cast Cure Wounds on Mareid.
Wait. Oh. Yeah.
So that's 9 HP.
Delicious. Bountiful.
When you're level 1.
When you're level 1.
All right. The commoners start shouting, not really understanding what has happened. Yeah, fuck you, Wolf! Varko's kind of like looking around like, what the fuck?
I'm gonna
Starts looking out in the dark.
I'm gonna sort of collapse onto this like a bench. And as I'm doing though, I'm sort of like stroking down the stick. The shillelagh is gone.
Like,
Um,
hopefully no one saw that. And just go, whoop, 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 whoop. Oh, my cane.
I'm
She good
going.
trusty sort.
She sure is.
The werewolf continues running in. There's another that echoes through the night, much closer this time, as the werewolf disappears off into the night.
Can I lay on hands myself before people show up?
Lucian, what are you doing?
I would like to disguise, like reaching into my cloak and healing myself as being like checking the armor to see like how bad the wound actually was. You know what I mean? So you want sleight of hand?
Let me sleight of hand.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're just like,
It wasn't that bad.
yeah.
Wasn't
okay.
that bad.
One's been bitten.
And I heal myself to like try to hide most of the wounds. Would you like, do we have another turn to do another action or no?
So we'll find out. So,
Okay.
we are out of initiative at this point.
Uh-huh.
Then a group of individuals comes running up.
Oh, they look kind of witch huntery.
It's the Inquisition.
So you see 5 individuals kind of come running up. You can hear some sound in the trees out in the darkness. Keep the pursuit up, you, and like you hear kind of like you see this kind of gruff individual who's obviously the leader, kind of giving directions. 2 of them go running off into the night, leaving kind of the leader and 2 people with him as they walk into the camp.
Uh-huh.
Aaron.
Had a bit of a run-in with a rabid wolf, did we? Luckily enough, we got here in time.
Well, thanks for your aid. We've been goners without you.
This kind of like pale-skinned, gray-haired, older man kind of comes walking in. You can see there's kind of scars on his face. He's, nothing but piss and vinegar and gristle, right? He looks around at kind of old Mita hiding behind the tent. Aaron slowly cooking in the fire as his eyes turn and fixate on Varco as he stands unsteadily on the foot.
Anyone hurt?
You alright?
I'm alright. Are you alright?
He seems like it. No one that, I
Isn't
look over
already
to
gone.
Aaron. It seems like we're all alright from this fight.
Well, my men here, well suited attending to the injured, unfortunately. Looks like your friend there is a bit beyond us.
Yeah.
But here, let us patch you up. It's the least we can do for pushing that vermin this way. We didn't realize that anyone was camping up this way.
It's alright, the woods are tricky.
And honestly, if you knew that we were here, chances are so would they. I'm referring to the wolf that ran off.
Your boy's not need help. He went that way.
Yes, we'll run it to ground. I got him in the shoulder. He'll slow him down. We'll have him before daybreak.
Good on you.
It's,
You look a little banged up, son. Let's see it.
As he goes to pull out some bandages.
It's alright. A bit of them claws. Nothing but a rough couple.
Yes, let's see it. It ain't nothing to be ashamed of. We all get nicked from time to time.
Okay.
What are you rolling sleight of hand for?
That was earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So these
So
guys
to
are coming
thoroughly-
into the camp.
To like thoroughly disguise my healing of myself.
These guys are coming into the camp. What are you guys doing?
I mean, I'm making sure that everybody's alright. There's nothing to worry about here.
are you
Everybody
the,
Gucci.
Are you the god from Lunsk? We were trying to make our way there.
Well, we're protecting Lunsk.
I look over to the boys and their father. Does it look like they want to do something in particular? Would they
I'd
prefer
like you to roll
to?
insight.
Yeah. Come on.
Or history. Your choice.
It's too late now. It's 9.
Nope, can't help you.
Boys, would you like me to take him out? Put him further in? I don't know if you prefer burial. I look ready to grab the body, if they would like. But now...
Wait up, miss. Best not to lose your fire here in the middle of the night. Wouldn't want it circling back and getting you in the night.
No, I was just gonna get him out.
Better to let him cook. You look a little banged up yourself. Did it get you?
No, I think I'm alright.
As he begins kind of looking you over.
I look myself over at this point.
It caught you on your leg. But all signs. When it bit you earlier, it caught you on your leg as you were kind of standing on the
Which
on the,
fucking leg are you referring to?
your left leg.
Okay, that's fine.
Crooked leg.
It caught you on your leg as you were like, beating it over the head with your shillelagh,
Yeah.
standing
okay.
on top of the log, beating it over the head with the shillelagh. It reached up and bit you, caught you like on the ankle, and like ripped into you.
It
and you're
was
like,
really bad. Yeah,
"Ah!"
I remember, but I
Yeah.
feel so much better
But now it's all gone.
Yeah,
now it's all gone.
in that case, yeah,
He's
I'll
kinda
lift
looking you over.
the pant leg and look at it. He was supposed to have bitten me here, but it looks like he just tore the pant leg.
What's with all the blood?
Our friend over there.
I was kind of right in front of him. I shudder a little.
Roll deception. Lucian.
Shit!
Oh, it's Lucian.
Is it deception or can I roll persuasion because she was right in front of
You
him?
lied.
Okay.
You got charisma. There you go.
Not
But
bad.
they got insight. They got eagle eyes.
He kind of leans down, lifts up your pant leg, or rubs his thumb across your skin. Looks like it's just a smear. Lucky there. Lucky there, miss. They have wicked. They have a beast like that. No telling what it's got on its teeth. What diseases?
Yeah, don't have to tell me twice.
Come on, boys. Let's see. Stick out your arms.
My arms are fine.
What you hiding there? Come on now. He
Actual
reaches,
roll.
grabs hold of your wrist,
Alright.
pulls your arm out.
Clutch my little walking stick.
He sees the teeth marks on your bracers.
Lucian was slash.
He looks over at the Captain Halka. He steps away, leaving Mareid alone. Come take a look.
Where's
Kind
the
of
heretic?
Shuffle, shuffle.
Holds up your he holds up your arm and quickly takes a knife, slits the leather off of your bracers and falling to the ground.
Ow.
It's expensive.
Well, I got to tend to the wound quickly now,
Yeah.
don't I?
Yeah.
I don't think it was
Luckily,
that bad,
it looks
but
like it's just a bruised. Lucky you there. Lucky there. Could have been a lot worse.
thanks. You know where I can get my bracer repaired? Can I do that in Lunsk? I do appreciate you looking out, though.
Yeah, he passes you 2 gold coins.
Well, thank you.
Oh, that's nice of him.
Cost 8 to pick.
I'm sure you can get it fixed in Lunsk.
Thank you.
This one over here. Captain. He looks over at Varco, kind of leaning on his spear. His leg, his leg bleeding down. Blood, trailing down his leg where his wound has opened back up.
Shoot, I'll have to stitch it.
That's an old one. He had that when we met him.
Roll persuasion. You sure about that?
What'd you say it was, Mize? Some
It was
sort
a
of weird...
stag.
Yeah. A weird deer or something?
Yeah, a red stag. He got me there you
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
She's been
You
changing
see,
his quarters.
You see Varco swallow.
He wasn't supposed
I mean,
to
if-
get up tonight, so stitching just undid a little bit.
I mean, if you're skilled in healing, I'm sure he could use it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Take care of him, will you? He nods over at his guy.
Oh.
He lifts a pistol up to the side of his head and boom!
Oh,
Barco falls down.
You. Is.
Why?
It had already gotten into his blood. He wouldn't have made it to Lunsk. And even if he did, he'd only pose further problems for the town. Well,
The two kids kind of like shell shocked or like, what the fuck? One of them starts to try to do something. The brother kind of grabs his sleeve, like, no, no, no.
wouldn't matter whether it was a bite or that beast goring him. He was a dead man walking. Well, you all have a pleasant night now.
And they start heading back out into the night.
Rush over to him.
You rush over, like, see if there's something you can do. The whole right side of his head is just gone.
But now she's going over there to loot, Mick. What you mean?
And with that, they all disappear back into the night. You hear throughout the rest of the night, you hear further gunshots, but with each one, they seem to be getting more and more distant.
Should have been the wall. Shoot.
I think Lucian like kicks like a stool or something like that in frustration.
Shoot. What do we do? I guess it's.
Do any of you know if you had family?
They look a little shocked.
His two sons standing right there.
No,
No.
I'm talking about that guy who just
Fuck.
got killed for no reason. Yeah.
Barco.
I know his cousin. I'll get word over to him.
And I'm not going to leave your dad like that, so.
Damn them bastards.
What are they? They're. That's not what the god is supposed to do.
They're just bloody butchers.
It's the fucking order.
And she like,
Fucking
No,
order.
fuck them. What do you want to do with your dad? I look to the two sons.
We'll go out and bury him.
Not alone, you won't.
they
I'll
kind of
take-
give a worried look up at the moon. That's probably for the best.
I'll take
as
a.
they begin to pull him out of the fire by his double knotted boots.
I'll use one of the blankets that we have to kind of like put him out. And I'll throw the stool I kicked earlier into the fire to act as firewood.
I move over to his leg and I have to see how he was doing.
What do you mean by that?
Mareid wants to know if what she did was helping, if he was getting better.
So you look at the wound on his leg. It looks better than it did when you were in the wagon earlier. It's still inflamed, but you can see that the flesh kind of around the ragged hole is kind of turned pink and puckered, where it's starting to close up. Fresh blood was flowing out of it and down his leg, no longer pus filled.
It was just the fact that it opened up again because he started moving. I hit it. I hit it. Fallen gods. And I'll carry him. I'll start trying to carry him as well with the boys, and obviously doing very poorly because I'm not very strong.
I'll help both sets of people bury the two bodies.
So the night carries on. The grisly affair of burying your dead takes place in the dark wood. As dawn slowly rolls around, none of you really getting any sleep. Very stressed and frazzled. Mr. Bell comes out at this time, rather white and can I get a moment with you, Mr. Lucian, right?
Yeah, mate. What do you need?
Maybe with your friend there.
I look over at Marie. Does she look like she needs the distraction of something else to focus on?
She'll take it. She's...
Okay.
See, your ears generally flick. Now she's much more aware of the sounds around you all.
Hey, your friend from the other night wants to talk to you.
Oh, right. Morning, Vale.
I saw I saw how you all handled the wolf from last night. I don't know if I'm quite cut out for all of that, but you both seem to be, cut from the same cloth, so to speak. If you're interested,
he wouldn't mind spending some coin to avoid Mr. Aaron's fate. As he glances out in the woods at the freshly turned.
He wouldn't have had that problem. Those fucking hunters hadn't chased it here.
Be that as it may, I don't know if I'm willing to take that risk. Kind of looks down at his book. I have a proposition for you. Kind of looks up and realizes that he's kind of talking in the middle of the camp. Can we maybe go a little ways away? Maybe not too far.
You said he had a Burok accent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can walk away.
So you guys walk out into the woods a little bit. The further you go, the more nervous he kind of starts to get. I'm sure this is quite far enough.
It's all right, you know.
Well, see, I was hoping to head up to this mausoleum that I've been reading about and recover something that would prove my theories correct in front of the board. But I don't know if I quite have the stomach for it anymore.
Research can be like that sometimes. It's
Well, I have some gold that I can give you all, plus some more that I can sign for. If you would be willing to help me retrieve an artifact to help prove my point in front of those dusty bastards.
He seems to get a little fired up
I
at the
can't
moment.
help but
At the
smile.
mention.
This is the way he speaks is almost familiar.
There's a long forgotten mausoleum.
He kind of points. He points in the wrong direction, but he's like,
To the northeast of here. It's quite a ways away. It's still, a good week or two's journey. But it's called the Penumbral Vestibule. I've been researching it, and he pats his book. I was hoping to recover an ancient circlet there. It shows that can prove that I'm right about the lost city.
You work in archaeology.
Yes, I'm looking to recover this. I have evidence that it's still there. No one seems to have recovered it in some time. And if you could go and and pick it up for me, bring it back to Lunsk, I'll give you 1,400 gold. I don't have that on me. I don't have that on me, but I can sign for it. But
1,400.
I can give you 400 now. And you bring it back and I'll pay the rest. You can be assured.
I'm holding my head a little bit. It's a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
what? Who do you work for, mate? Who are these people? That's a lot of coin.
I'm confidentiality. It's confidential. Yes.
Does he sound like he's not from around here?
I mean,
Yeah, he doesn't sound like he's around. He's
Lucian will pitch his voice slightly lower and whisper in lower Briart. Who do you work for, mate? You ain't sound like you're from around here.
You see him blanch a little bit, and he replies,
I am not. But that shouldn't matter. It's
No,
a
coin's
matter
coin.
of it's a matter of academia.
well,
That's above my pay grade right there.
No. I'm just now staring at you. I didn't know this.
I know that it might seem like a lot, but given the unpleasantries from last night, I think it's more than fair for whatever dangers you might run into.
Of course, you said you had a... You
But
were
of
scared
course, it's
after...
to also ensure your discretion and that I won't have to mention you in any papers. Of course, it's just between the two of us. And three of us.
Well, yeah. I don't see any reason why not. Well, no, I can see reasons why not. But I think it should be alright. Can you give us any details about this? Like, I don't know, the age that this thing is from?
The city?
yes. So he goes on to explain
Mhm.
that he's researching a mysterious civilization that is said to have sprawled underneath the Estonian Empire, and that he believes he has found a mausoleum that might be connected to the old network under underground, and that in doing this research, he found that there was once a lich that had made had discovered the underground network and had utilized it to some extent before he was destroyed by a set of adventurers, many years ago.
As you do.
But he, based off of their descriptions, their stories that he researched, that you know that the item that he had made his phylactery out of was the was like the crown of the crown, like the crown prince's crown, right?
Mhm.
And he's like, if I had that, it would prove that that I am right, that this civilization existed. And he gets a rather animated about this, um, and and so he's like, I want you to go and recover this circlet for me, this crown. He goes on to kind of describe it. And he describes it as this golden circlet. He's like, it's likely tarnished and old, and it's rumored to have a cracked peridot gemstone set in its center from when the phylactery was broken.
That's a grain gem. I'm telling you, Lucian.
Alright, thanks. So we're looking for a dusty old crown with a green gem. With a crack in it.
Yes. And so he gives you the location where he believes this mausoleum is at.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't, he has pieced this location together from many different accounts and many different sources. He's like, I don't know. He doesn't know what the layout or anything is, but just he thinks he has, figured out where it's located.
Is it maybe in their bookie clutching?
Well, this is my notes. Um, you can't have my notes. They're confidential.
Of course. But we're going on a confidential mission to go get your crown to prove your notes, right?
Yes.
Get you look at your notes so that we can have as much information so that your venture will be successful.
We can be discreet.
Yeah. You ain't gotta worry about me doing it. Just let her take a look.
No. It would be above your head, anyways.
She's really smart.
I'm not. I'm learning, and I
No,
want to go back
she's
into school.
really smart. Oh god.
He's getting more and more agitated as this,
Okay.
as you guys press. No, like this is my research. I will not have anyone try to scoop it out from under me.
Alright.
Thank you, sir, but I'm 16. I don't think I can go into any place of
You
academia.
never quite know with you elves. You might have been 16 for a century now.
That's not quite how we work.
Well, you can't read it. I won't allow it.
Well,
Alright, well where do we find you
Look,
if we get
do you want the gold or not?
I do. Trust me, I do. The problem is, alright, so we go get your crown, right? We do your venture. How do we meet back up with you?
I will be staying at Lunsk. You come
Mhm.
back with the crown and any kind of other evidence that you might collect, particularly rubbings of any drawings or sketches or murals you might find, and
Alright.
I will pay you the remaining balance.
alright.
Just for the crown. But if we find more stuff, like if we find like your dusty old lich's bones or something like that, can we get a little extra for that?
Roll me
Or you
persuasion.
said rubbings. What language are we looking for? What does it look like? Just the basics. Nothing to do with your research.
It would. Um,
How about something simple? Basic words. Something like, I don't know, when you speak.
honestly, take some rubbings of any foreign languages you might find,
Alright.
and inside the vestibule, and I will pay you an additional 400 gold for any additional information you could provide. Conditionally on the quality, I won't pay for any, any rubbish, but if it is useful to my research, which I very much believe it shall, I give you another 400.
Thank you, sir. That's very kind of you. Do we need to like sign anything saying like, oh, yep, we won't talk about
No.
this?
This is a under the table type of deal.
Gotcha. I mean, I'm good. Are you good?
I think so. Yes, I think it's alright. He
Well,
seemed
then.
nice before. He's just protective.
I mean, after the night we've all had,
Yeah.
reasonable.
Yes, I think we agree. This could work. And we do need
I
the
s-
gold.
I stick my hand out to shake this man's hand.
He yes, certainly. Thank
I
you.
give him a firm handshake.
He gives you a kind of a limp-wristed.
Yep.
Limp fish.
All right, coin. So we can go buy some provisions.
Yes. And he, takes his boot off and starts pulling out some coins, and he ends up giving you, 400 gold, mainly in platinum pieces.
That would
Nice.
be enough to pay
40.
for many cakes, actually.
All right.
You know what?
And with that,
My recharger.
you guys continue on your way up to Lunsk, where he gets a room at the local inn there, expecting you all to return in a couple of weeks with hopefully the archaeological find of the century.
And
Right.
No, I
get
mean
to
they a bunch
learn
of
if he
werewolves
was-
now.
All right.
Didn't even get to learn if he was
Chill.
from a school or something.
And with that,
He was
we'll-
cagey as hell.
I know. They're tough nuts to crack.
And with that, we'll wrap up the blue session of the blue 0.5 session for the night.
We clearly
you
get a long
guys-
rest.
You guys will get the benefits of a long rest.
Hooray!
You guys can also purchase things from the store there. You
Improve
can
my
buy
armor.
any mundane item that you would like. Give me a list of everything that you would like to purchase, and I will give you the prices. They will be nearabouts the price in the PHB unless it is something odd.
Man, we can't just go buying potions, can we?
I mean, you could.
Just the exotic shit, them outlawed heresy.
That'd be
Good.
expensive compared to everything else.
Potions?
Yeah,
Why?
I don't know.
Apothecaries are all over the place, man.
Yeah, but it's like magic adjacent skill. It's gonna be like health insurance. Expensive as fuck.
Oh, potions are a very normal thing.
Oh, thank fuck.
Potions are
Yeah,
something that
apothecaries are
lots
like.
of people use because they're
They got
get
out
out
of
of jail free card basically.
Thank you. The few
I assume you're carrying 200 of it. I'll carry 200 of it. Good.
Yeah, let me just change that real quick.
Alright.
2. Okay.
Righto.
Let's go shopping.
All right. I don't think we have time to run the red session
9
without
hour.
running really late.
Yeah, Josh has work in the morning.
Yeah, there's a chance we could finish it by like 10:30, but I can't guarantee that, and you wouldn't want to stop halfway through. So I think it's better to stop for the night and pick up on another day. Is there another day that you guys would?
We
When
can
do
do
you
the
want to play the
weekend.
next game? I would like to do it for the weekend if possible, just because that would let me prepare
Uh,
session one.
Thursday or
um,
Friday, it's fine.
Thursday night would be the only one because Josh works Friday and Saturday night.
That would be fine. That would mean
All
that
right,
I could
Thursday
record.
night sounds good with me.
You guys
That
want to
works.
do your 0.5 session on Thursday night?
Try.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's on Friday, I'm not gonna be able to record the game, so I don't know if any one of y'all would feel so generous.
That works for me. So we'll just run Thursday night at our usual time, so 5 to whenever we finish. We should finish quickly, which I expect the game to run, about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Kind of
I
like
decide
Dishonored.
I decide to slaughter half the town and it's one big fight. No.
Alright. That's good.
Hope you guys enjoyed the game. I did.
I did. I wish you took another bite at Lucian after I spent my whole fucking shield on him.
Is Mareid a werewolf now, Amy? Huh?
She made her con save.
The other concentration.
That was a concentration.
I'll make con save.
Don't tell me that now. It's too late. You're too late. It's gone.
Yeah, you forgot about it, brother. She's fine.
Oh, you misguided him. He didn't know. Oh.
You made your con save.
Can't do that to me when I'm post out of inspirations.
You gotta do more tokens. Get more inspiration.
I actually
She's
don't
gotta do
grab.
the recap.
Huh?
I said she just gotta do the recap and she got inspiration.
Yeah, but that's kind of the only thing that I take inspiration for. Otherwise, I will start racking up inspiration very quickly.
So you rich around here.
Alright.
The evilness of old Mita. Old Mita was fun to play as.
That really would assure the fact that they spent some time apart. Nothing like a granny saying like, "So you like your friend there?" And I'm like, "Fuck no, goodbye."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that you hit the werewolf. It's like you guys did the crit damage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
no damage.
Yeah, that shit
No
ain't
silver.
silver.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. I was like,
shit.
no silver weapons, guys. Of course we do no damage to this fucking werewolf.
It was that, and then the vague hope, like, okay, maybe the people that we're with, maybe they're not half bad, maybe they could help. Dies
Yeah.
immediately, like, oh no, I don't want to be here.
Yeah, I thought the commoners here were supposed to be a little tougher. They get fucking wrecked.
Man, they from out of town. Well, that one guy.
I thought it was a good game though. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I hope that when we go into town, that we still spend some time with what was her name?
Team.
Mita and Nita and the boys, whose names were not mentioned.
Then we got Team
not
Goody
the-
Goody on one side and then Team Murder Hobo on the other side.
It is very much Team Goody versus Team Murder Hobo.
Uh-huh.